evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Friday Night Movie Night on the Basement Show with Mr. Knast. I am Mr. Knast, and no, you're not seeing things. That is not Andrea.
Not Andrea.
That is Mr. Ron joining us for this evening. Miss Andrea had some things to take care of. She's hoping to join us in a little bit, but we're going to start the show without her, so hopefully she can still join us tonight. But if not, you got me and Ron for the next hour and a half, 2 hours. So we hope everyone wants to have a fun movie discussion as we always do on Friday nights. So, yeah.
Hey, could I mention that soda looks really good in the intro? Every time I hear it like bubbling, and I'm like, man, I should have got a soda.
I mean, it says grab a drink, grab a snack. I mean, I got my drink and my snack, I guess.
Well, I got the drink, but, I am snackless.
Yeah, well, you want me to send you some? I got some.
Yeah, text some over.
I will work right on that, sir.
Okay.
But now that I did the intro, I can turn on my second monitor so I can actually pull up some list so I'm not speaking out of my butt when I try to talk about some of these movies. So, Scooby Snacks. Very good choice, Mr. Nixon.
Yes.
I don't know if you watched Wednesday night or not, but I had Matt on for Video Game Mania, and he got confetti bombed live on my show.
I did see the video of him being confetti bombed. Yes, I did see that. More than once. I actually rewatched it like 8 times just because that's how much it entertained me. Sorry, Matt, but it was funny.
I actually had to edit it a slightly bit because the last 3 seconds of it was like, "Hey, that's what I fucking talk about. It's all about fucking." I'm going to trim this up a little bit, but if you want to see the whole thing, let me know. I have the full copy of it.
Okay.
But he was a good sport. It's trending on TikTok. Is it really?
Wow. Pretty cool.
Yeah, sign me up, man. I mean, I've been trying to get my TikTok game up. I guess we just have to confetti bomb Matt more often.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean you text my wife and have her hit me with the garden hose or anything. So let's not do that because she'll be up for it. Trust me.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, luckily, I don't think she would want to get your computer and all that wet confetti harmless.
Yeah.
Now, water and stuff like that, you might be a little bit more mad because it's higher end, more expensive equipment.
Well, great. You just talked her into hitting me with a brick. Thanks.
Well, that might hurt too. Why, is she behind us saying something?
No, she's at work right now, so.
Okay.
I'm safe. I'm safe for now, but I always got one eye, just in case.
Good evening, Curtis. Thank you for popping in tonight.
Hey, Curtis.
That's funny. So we had talked about. I'm gonna actually just pull up a list real quick. Greatest movies from the 1970s because we had a request on our post today to talk some of older movies. So I'm gonna just get a list so I don't sound dumb because Ron has a lot more knowledge than I do.
I bring my credentials of 20 years in the video business and 13 years with Blockbusters as a district manager. So I will maybe have a little bit to share.
Well, the number one on the list, I mean, I know that one. The number one movie of the 70s was Taxi Driver. If you don't know Taxi Driver, then might be a little bit something wrong here. I've even seen Taxi Driver.
You talking to me?
Yeah, you're talking to me.
Yeah, Taxi Driver, man. That was a great movie. De Niro and a very young Jodie Foster.
Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was this her first role?
No, it was not. Actually, she was. She had a couple roles before that, I believe. That was her first major breakthrough role, though. I think.
Oh, okay.
I would say that's the one that really got her, on the map. But I think she had a couple small parts prior to that.
Fair enough. I mean, and then what do you know? Number 2 on the list is another Robert De Niro movie from the 1970s, Mean Streets. I've never seen this one, though.
Yeah, I don't recall a lot about Mean Streets. I remember liking it, but gosh, so many years ago since I watched it.
Like, I'm starting to see a trend a little bit. Okay, it breaks after three. Same director too.
Yeah, Scorsese.
Martin,
Scorsese.
yeah, Martin Scorsese.
Yeah,
I guess he was the go-to director of the '70s.
he he was big in the '70s. Yeah, absolutely. He was very busy during that time.
Because the third on the list, I'd never heard of this one. Alice doesn't live here anymore. Never heard
Okay.
of it.
Yep.
And then number four is called Five Easy Pieces, a Jack Nicholson movie.
Jack Nicholson. Yeah.
So maybe I had to check that one out one day. The Last Detail, another Jack Nicholson movie.
Nicholson. Yeah.
Randy Quaid's in that.
Yeah. Yeah. He is.
That might be an interesting watch.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, Jack Nicholson, Chinatown, 1974.
China. Yeah. Best. He was nominated for Best Actor. It was Best Picture as well. I believe it won Best Picture, if I'm not mistaken.
I will have to look that one up. Let's see. I'll actually click on it for a second.
I know it was nominated.
Won one Oscar,
Okay.
and it was winner was Best Writer, Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role, Best Actress, Best Director, and Best Cinematography.
Yeah, it won for the original screenplay.
Very nice.
And Roman Polanski wrote the screenplay.
I'm just trying to see if I can confirm that. I'll take your word for it. I'm sure you're right, but
Yeah, well, I just looked it up. So
yeah, oh, yeah, there is Roman Polanski. Yep.
yeah,
Best Motion Picture. So
did 29.2 million at the box office, which in 1974 was pretty decent.
I mean, I would say, yeah. Now, after Chinatown on this list, since I'm looking at IMDb, it's the top 100 movies. Number 7, I thought this would be a little bit higher. One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I've seen this movie
Man.
and I love this movie.
That's such a great movie. And that definitely was a lot of Oscars in that one.
Yes. I mean, and the cast for its time period was unbelievable, too.
Nicholson, Faye Dunaway,
A young Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. Wow. Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd's in it.
Yep.
Like, that just... I was actually referencing this movie at work tonight.
Yeah.
As bad as it sounds, I have a certain TL who sometimes gets me a little annoyed, but she's not bad. I was joking with her. I was like, I'm going to turn into Jack Nicholson from One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and you're going to start calling me Mac Murphy. I'm going to start calling you Nurse Ratchet. And she knew instantly what I was talking about. That's what made the conversation funny.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then another movie that's very low on this list, surprisingly, the original Godfather is number 8.
Okay. Wow.
So
Number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Godfather, Godfather 2 was actually the only sequel ever to win Best Picture.
Wow.
So between Godfather 1, Godfather 2, and there actually was a Godfather 3 that was made for television. It was like a mini series kind of event.
Mm-hmm.
And then actually Coppola went back, Francis Ford Coppola went back and made it one continuous story where they actually edited 1, 2, and 3 all together into one continuous story. And they released it on VHS that way for limited time back in the day. But it was, the only sequel to ever get Best Picture.
Interesting. Good evening, Kelsey. I hope your
Hey,
ear
Kelsey.
infection is getting better. She had said in the chat the other night she had her first ear infection in 3 months. That's incredible. So,
Wow.
So I hope you're feeling better, because she's my cousin from Colorado, so
Okay.
she's family. And right under the original Godfather, you have Godfather 2.
Right. Which, and I mean, you talk about star-studded, the Godfather movies, all kinds of great stars in those. I mean, you had You had Pacino. You had obviously Marlon Brando. You had
James Caan, it looks like.
James Caan. You had
Diane Keaton? Wow.
Diane Keaton. Talia Shire, maybe?
Let's see. Are we talking the first one? I can pull up the first one for you. First one, top cast.
Yeah.
You have Al Pacino, James Caan, Diane Keaton, Robert Duvall.
Duvall,
sorry. I love his movies, though.
Yeah.
John Morley, Richard Conte, Talia Sherry.
Yeah, okay. I thought she was in. That's Rocky's wife.
I was going to say, did this get who started, or was she and Rocky first?
Rocky would have been after.
Okay.
But yeah, that was pretty much her first major role.
Dang.
In Godfather.
Gotcha. Thanks, Kelly. I'll message you more, but I ended up. Charles, I hope you continue to get better. That's all I can say.
Absolutely.
Ear infections are no fun. Al Martino, Rudy Bond, Gianna Russo, oddly enough. I mean, yeah, I didn't know Diane Keaton was in the Godfather. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've at least watched the first one. Don't think I've ever watched two.
Actually, two is really, really good because that continues the story of Michael. Really focuses on Michael and him kind of transitioning into taking over.
Gotcha. Now, what's interesting too, on this, like they give you the Metascore, which is like not like so much Rotten Tomatoes, not Cinescore, but like Meta is like the poll between like the media and stuff.
Okay.
The original Godfather had 100 Metascore. The second one fell all the way down to 90.
Wow.
But you're saying that the second one won the multiple like best picture and stuff. So it's kind of surprising to see it drop off that much. I mean, it's not that big of a drop, but to lose 10 points and still get credit for all the awards it has just starstrucks me.
Well, at that time too, though, you have to realize that people were very skeptical of sequels. It wasn't like today where it's just automatic. You assume that there's going to be another one, and unless they tell you otherwise, just because that's the way it is now. But back then, you know, it wasn't necessarily a guarantee if you put out a sequel that people were going to come and see it, even though it was a great first one.
Yeah, I could see that because you had the problem with the Star Wars movies back in the 70s with that issue. So was it or the 80s?
No, they're starting in the 70s.
I was gonna say I shouldn't quote Star Wars too much because I've never watched them.
Yeah, Star Wars. First Star Wars was 77.
Okay. And then after Godfather Part 2, a movie called The Conversation with Gene Hackman. Never heard
Gene
of that
Hackman,
one.
yeah.
Apocalypso Now. Never heard that one.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, war movie again. Very much a star-studded event. Was actually that was Coppola as well, I believe.
Yep.
You had Robert Duvall in that one as well. You had oh gosh, there were so many. Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen, Mario Brando, Robert
Duvall.
You have to correct me on that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Frederick Forrest is the top 40 name on the website I'm looking at.
Yeah, and that was very, very epic for the time. I mean, the amount of effects that they used and the realistic war scenes and the amount of military equipment that they used during those was really a big investment for those days.
I mean, it grossed $83.4 million. Pretty good.
Yep. Which would translate into about $200 million today.
Yeah, but like going back up real quick, the original Godfather grossed $134.9 million.
Right.
Okay. And then the second one, according to this, only grossed $57.3.
Right.
So again,
and it won Best Picture.
It's just mind blowing to see the score drop off as big as it did, and then not even to gross half of what the first one did.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mind blowing.
Yep.
Then after that one, The French Connection.
Okay.
Gene
Gene
Hackman.
Hackman. Yeah.
French
That's
Connection.
a action packed movie. Really, a lot of car chases and a lot of great action in that for sure.
So it might hold up to this day as a good action movie to watch.
I think you could go back today and watch it, and you'd if you like action movies, I don't think you'd be disappointed.
I mean, if Andrea is here, I'd be writing all these down because she helps me to make a list. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Then after that one, you have French Connection 2,
Mm-hmm.
which that's weird that you see a 4-year gap between the first and second one.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, because back then it wasn't necessarily an automatic. I mean, that's not like it is today. I mean, today when they sign an actor for a film, they sign them for at least two,
mm-hmm.
and sometimes for an option for a third. So they pretty much lock them down when they sign on to the original project. If they feel that there's definitely going to be a sequel, they're going to sign them for both at the same time, so that they have them locked in, so they don't lose actors between the first one and the second one.
Good to know. And number 14 is one of my favorite movies. A lot of people don't like it. The original Exorcist.
Okay, Linda Blair.
I mean, yeah. I can't wait for the one that's coming out this year because the mother from this one is reprising her role as her mother. And it's 50 years since the original. So a lot can obviously be changed. For the time period, this movie was very bizarre.
Bizarre is a good word. It was groundbreaking for the time. I mean, it was, one of the scariest movies without having to be like totally gory. I mean, some of it was just implied gore. Mm-hmm. And then, the whole pea soup thing, and, that was a little much, but, yeah, it was, and the cross thing, which anybody who's seen the movie knows what I'm talking about. That was a little rough, but,
Now, I'm going to give you, I want to compare, what did you give your opinion? I'm not trying to call you old, but you grew up with these movies.
Well, if you're leading with that, then you are trying to call me old. So okay. You may proceed.
I apologize. I apologize. But
yep.
The first time around watching these movies, you were probably in your teenage years.
Yes.
Which one was more scary and groundbreaking? The original Exorcist or Psycho?
Wow. That's a tough comparison. That it is, because now Psycho was more suspenseful, and The Exorcist was more effects driven to an extent, just because of some of the big shock value scenes were effects driven. So, just from a pure fright for somebody who's a teenager, I personally would say that Psycho was a little more, had me on the edge of my seat. But I did see The Exorcist in a theater in Woodbury called The Wood. And it was, there was a very diverse audience, and they very much reacted to a lot of the scenes in a crazy way, screaming, yelling at the screen. It was just insane.
Oh, because the iconic scene of Psycho is obviously the shower scene.
Yeah.
And then I would guess the iconic scene of The Exorcist is the whole split pea thing when she starts violently projectiling.
When the head spun around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the projectile vomiting. Yeah.
So it's definitely one way you can look at both those movies. Like you said, it's a weird comparison, but I figured for someone that grew up in that time period, I'm a little bit younger, so I was more at 90s type kid. But I would love to see these two movies when they first came out.
Yeah. No, I didn't see Psycho when it first came out, but I did see The Exorcist in the theater though.
Okay. I mean, so like it says a weird comparison. I apologize for calling you old. You're
No, it's
18.
fine.
We all know you're 18. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I've got T-shirts that are 18. I still wear them.
There
So
you go. After The Exorcist, you have Jaws.
Jaws, great movie. Roy Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss,
Robert Shaw.
uh, Robert Shaw. Yeah. Really, you want to talk about a big box office, hit. It came out over the summer. I believe, if I remember correctly,
Mm-hmm.
it might have released in like the beginning of the summer, and people just went nuts. And I mean, they had actually the mechanical shark's name was Bruce. That's what they named the mechanical shark that they used for a lot of the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
They did have a lot of difficulty with the mechanical shark. It did halt filming on a couple of different occasions because they were having mechanical issues with the shark. Then they recreated the shark for Universal Studios studio tour, where actually you're riding this ride in the water, and Bruce jumps out of the water, and lunges at the boat, so uh, that was always fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think of Jaws. I always think that I kind of quote, "I think you're gonna need a bigger boat."
Yep,
That's
absolutely.
definitely a kind of quote from that movie for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Now,
He's
go ahead.
because he was throwing the chum off the back, and all of a sudden this shark jumps out of the water, and he just like his eyes got like that big.
I mean, it actually grossed more than The Exorcist did, which is kind of
Yeah,
surprising. But like you said, they released it during the summer.
yeah.
Different.
It was really the first summer blockbuster that that really just captivated the entire United States and overseas. I mean, it did very well overseas as well.
Yeah, I mean, in total, it grossed 260 million,
Yep.
and then The Exorcist grossed 239.9. So that's not bad for itself. But
Yeah. Yep.
now you were saying earlier, like nowadays, that'd probably be about 500 to 600 million.
It would be a lot more for sure. Yeah.
And I'm guessing this was the remake that came out a couple years back. 16 is called The Wicker Man.
Wicker
Did
Man.
they remake this? And is this the one with Nicolas Cage? I think it is.
They did remake it. Yes, that was Nicolas Cage was an up kind of an updated version of Wicker Man. Yeah.
Okay. Thought so. The Omen, 17.
The Omen. Yeah.
Richard Donner, one of my favorite directors.
Yeah.
A Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange was very controversial. Malcolm McDowell, and it was about it was Anne Margaret was in it as well, and it was about like this gang, and they were like, there was rape in it, there was a lot of violence in it. It was actually the equivalent of an X rating. It got a what would now be an NC-17.
Okay, I was gonna say it's rated R in this.
Yeah, it's rated R now because they submitted it to be re-rated after the fact. But when it was first originally released, nobody under 17 was allowed to go see it in the theater.
Interesting. Stanley Kubrick doesn't
Yep.
surprise me.
Yeah. Well, just think he went from that to 2001: Space Odyssey. It's quite a range to go from that, one of the most iconic science fiction movies of all time to a story about a gang of rapists.
Yeah, I mean the other one that I think of when I see that name is Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay.
With Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise and all
Tom
that.
Cruise, yeah.
That's more like your mind psychological thriller type thing.
Yep.
is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
19, we have Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope.
Mm-hmm.
Directed by George Lucas himself.
Which was actually the first one for those of you that are not Star Wars fans.
But then why is it called number 4? I'm not going to get into it.
Because 4, 5, and 6 were the first 3.
That makes any sense.
Okay, but when they first started the series, that was the original trilogy was 4, 5, and 6, and then they went backwards and then they went forward.
That makes any sense. But
yeah,
if Andrea should put me in my place, I know she would.
Well, you're not a Star Wars fan, so we make allowances for you.
Yeah, and that goes $322.7 million.
Yes, I saw that on opening day. I took the day off of school and stood in line, and I was the 5th person in line, and the other 4 people had been there overnight.
That's impressive.
Yeah, so I saw the first showing of all the first of 4, 5, and 6.
I mean, I've waited in line for stuff like that, but I don't know if that would be my cup of tea to wait in line for it. But who knows? Maybe one day I'll watch
them.
Yeah. Next is Coming Home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jane Fonda. I know who she is. I've heard
Jane Fonda and John Voight, about a disabled Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
And his experience, coming back to the States. Kind of a love story kind of deal. Also nominated for multiple Academy Awards as well.
1978, yeah. Never heard of the director, though. Hal Ashby. Never heard of him.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
21 is a movie called Kilt. Klute.
Clute.
Clute, okay. Clute.
Yep.
Good evening, Mr. Gary. Nice to see you.
Hey, Mr. Gary.
He's Gary Bittman. He's actually the one who recommended us to try to do some of these older movies.
Yes.
So, Mr. Gary, I got your 70s list up, and that's what we're talking about. So, if there's anything that you would like to add to the conversation as we name some of them, feel free. We did see your comment, so. Number 22, The Deer Hunter. Robert De Niro. Christopher Walken, John Savage.
Yeah. Great movie. Best Picture winner. Just an epic film. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of iconic lines. Really loaded with big stars also.
Kind of looks like Rambo a little bit, that poster.
Yeah.
A little bit, just saying.
Mm-hmm.
Shampoo, number 23.
Warren Beatty, Goldie Hawn. Yep. He was a male hairdresser, and it was about his exploits. It actually was quite the big deal in the day that, pretty much where Warren Beatty got a lot of his reputation as a ladies' man, let's say, and it just kind of built on that.
Warren Beatty. I always think of what the hell was that? Dick Tracy.
He's saying your mic's low.
I know.
Okay.
I turned it up a little bit. I don't want to make people deaf, though.
Did you say Dick Tracy?
Yes.
Oh wow, I love Dick Tracy, man. I was just I went to a pre video release party for Dick Tracy from it was invited by Disney, so I got to go to that, and when I watched that with Madonna and Warren Beatty, Dustin Hoffman.
Yep.
I mean, Dick Van Dyke, Al Pacino.
Yep.
And he was nominated for an Academy Award for that performance as well, believe it or not.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I just saw Clockwork. think that was on the list earlier.
Yeah, we just talked about it a minute ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I just mentioned that. What one was that? Hold on.
Clockwork Orange. Yeah.
Yes, number 18 on the list.
Yep.
Gary, I found a list of the top 100 best films of the 1970s. So I'm sure you have a lot to say about these. Feel free to interject. We love people who interact with it. So, yeah, I mean, I'll keep going. After Shampoo, we have a movie called Straight Time. Speaking of Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah. Not one of his more known roles. Yeah, really was kind of a... I'm surprised it's that high on the list, actually.
Number 24. He directed it and starred in it.
Right. I mean, that was the significance. I think it might have been his first directing.
Gary Busey had a role in it too.
Yeah. Oh wow. Okay.
Number 25, Kramer versus Kramer. Never heard of that.
Oh yeah, big time. It was about a divorce. That was Meryl Streep, was it not?
Yep.
Yeah.
Jane Alexander, Dustin Hoffman again.
Dustin Hoffman, Meryl Streep, yeah.
Justin Henry.
Also, Justin Henry was the kid, and that was actually also a Best Picture, I believe. And Best Actress.
I can tell you in 1 second.
For Meryl, maybe in that one. I'm not sure.
It won 5 Oscars. Best Picture, Best Actor in a Leading Role, Best Actress, Best Director.
Yep.
Best Writing, Best Actor in Supporting Role. And then it was nominated for Best Actress, Best Cinematography, and Best Film Editing. So
okay, Mr. Gary's got one. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Now that's a classic. I haven't come across that one yet, but it has to be on this list. If not, I'm going to be highly, highly upset. Let's see. That is not... I'm not seeing it yet. Still looking.
Yeah, that actually might have been... it could have been 1980. But, I mean, it was right... kind of right on the borderline there, probably.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing it on this list. Nope.
1982, actually.
Okay, so it is.
Okay,
it is
so,
a movie.
So Fast Times at Ridgemont High was Cameron Crowe, I believe, that wrote that, if I'm not mistaken.
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah. Oh no, Amy Heckerling was the director. Cameron Crowe wrote the story. Yep. So, and you want to talk about some star power in that particular film? I mean, you had a very early role from Forrest Whitaker in that.
Yeah.
You had Sean Penn. You had Eric Stoltz, and you had Anthony Edwards of Goose from Top Gun fame as Spicoli's stoner friends from the van.
And one person you're forgetting.
Nicolas Cage.
Nope.
Jennifer Jason Leigh. Ray Walston as Mr. Hand. You had Judge Reinhold. Yeah. So, I mean, you also had Phoebe Cates in the iconic red bathing suit scene.
Yeah.
I got water in my ear. If she had walked in a couple minutes later, she might have had something else in her ear, but that's a story for another day.
Oh boy. But I actually think I own this. I have this movie in my collection.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just a great movie. I love that movie. I could watch it over and over again, just for Sean Penn alone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Sean Penn's Spicoli was just an iconic character.
Now, if you want for another movie compared to Fast Times, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, that's another great one too. Yeah, for sure. Dazed and Confused. Wow. So there's some stars in that one as well. I'm trying to remember
Ben Affleck has a role in that.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey.
McConaughey, yeah. Yep.
I'm messing up all the names tonight. Jeez. Who else was in that? Lauren Joey Adams. Dazed and Confused. I mean, that came out in '93, but it was based off the '70s, though.
Yeah.
Who else we have?
You had
Wiley Wiggins,
Affleck,
Mila
Jovovich. She was she was in one of those video game movies. Not Tomb Raider, because that was Angelina Jolie, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, Resident Evil. Yeah. Okay.
And she was also in The Fifth Element.
Yes. Yeah, she was Lilo.
Yep.
The chosen one, so to speak.
Yeah, the chosen one. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, Dazed and Confused was it turned out to be quite a cult classic, and it definitely got a lot of attention on video at the time. It rented very, very well.
Now, I will admit I don't smoke, but every 420 I watch Dazed and Confused. You have to.
It's just a thing. And go to Taco Bell, right?
Yep. But the only thing I'm missing is the smoking aspect of it. And I've always been pride. Hey, you got to do it one year. And I always tell people no.
No. Me neither. Well, I look at it this way. I didn't do the drugs, so I just doubled up on the alcohol. So
there you go.
I figured I get so many vices, I'm going to take advantage. I'm not going to leave anything on the table. Literally.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Including the shot glass.
So,
yep.
I think he's talking about he's seen Dazed and Confused.
Yep.
Number 26 is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, yeah.
Another Steven Spielberg movie, Richard Dreyfuss.
Yep.
Melinda Dillon.
D. Wallace Stone.
I would have to click on it, but I'll take your word for it. I mean,
yeah. Who was also the mom in E.T.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, but great special effects in that for the time. It really struck a nerve with a lot of moviegoers, and it did extremely well. A really good story. I enjoyed the story, you know.
Well, Steven Spielberg, you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the greatest storytellers of all time, so, in my opinion.
Next one I've seen, and I love it, is a funny movie, American Graffiti.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, that's a little before my time, but I have watched it. Richard Dreyfuss, Ron Howard, George Lucas directed it.
Yep. Harrison Ford, Suzanne Summers.
Yep.
Suzanne Summers was the girl, the blonde in the car that he was chasing the whole movie.
Okay.
That was Suzanne Summers. And Harrison Ford was the guy he raced. Yeah, it was actually the role that Harrison Ford played in American Graffiti led to him being cast as Han Solo in Star Wars.
Because of George Lucas, I'm guessing, correct?
Yeah, Lucas went back to him and really liked what he saw of him, so he thought of him immediately for the role.
Yeah, this movie he plays a guy named Bob Hoffa.
Wolfman Jack was in it too.
Wolfman Jack.
In a very minor role, but he was definitely in it. For those of people who actually know who Wolfman Jack is.
He's not on the top cast, so...
No, like I said, it was a very minor role, but pivotal to the story.
Gotcha. And right after American Graffiti, you have another cult classic type movie, National Lampoon's Animal House.
Oh, I could talk about this one all day, man.
Like, I mean, where do you start with this? Like John Belushi, obviously.
Yeah, John Belushi. I mean, his pretty much. I don't want to say it was a breakthrough role for him because he was already a big hit from Saturday Night Live. Um, but his character, Bluto, just one of the great characters of all time. I think he just played it perfectly. I mean, you had a bunch of guys in there. Also, you got a very young Kevin Bacon in there. You got Tim Matheson. You got Bruce McGill. You got wow,
Donald Sutherland as the professor.
Robert Hulse. Yeah, Sutherland.
Douglas Tenney.
Karen Allen.
Yep.
Who went on to be in one of the Indiana Jones movies actually as well. And then Tom Hulse eventually won Academy Award for Amadeus.
May I dance with your date?
Yeah. I could run off about 1,000 lines from that movie.
I'm a Zet, get it? Ow, I just punched my headphone. Stephen Faust as Dorfman.
Yeah.
But
Fawn Leibowitz. She was killed in a kiln accident. She was going to make me a pot.
But you said Kevin Bacon. All I can think of is towards the end of the movie, like when they were trying to destroy the play. Calm down, all is well.
Stay calm, all is well. And flattens them out. Yeah.
Well, thank you, sir. May I have
thank
another?
You, sir. May I have another? Yeah. and then the guy who played Niedermeyer actually starred in a bunch of Twisted Sister music videos.
Mark McCaff.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, and he ended up featured in a bunch of Twisted Sister stuff after the fact. So,
may I have 10,000 marbles, please?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Can I buy some pot from you?
Cut the cake.
Yeah.
The Deathmobile.
Yep.
Oh man. That, as bad as I feel for the horse, the whole scene in Dean's office, and they like shoot the gun and the horse just drops like, holy shit!
There were blanks in that gun. Holy shit! There were blanks in that gun. Maybe he had a heart attack. Holy shit!
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that movie now.
Oh yeah.
All right, show's ending. I'm going to watch that animal tomorrow night.
Yep, there you go.
Oh man,
great movie.
Absolutely.
I lied to you too, Larry. I'm only 13.
Then you fucking puts her in a freaking shopping cart and leaves her outside of the house.
Now that is Sarah Holcomb, okay, who played the mayor's daughter in Animal House, who also played Maggie in Caddyshack with that crazy accent. The girlfriend of Danny. That's her.
Get the hell out of here.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about, Danny. Oh, wow. Now you're making me feel old, okay? And these movies were made about 10, 15 years before I was born.
Yeah. And
you got me quoting movies from 1978. I wasn't born in 87.
It's a beautiful thing. It was a great suggestion by Mr. Gary. I mean, you know, a lot of times when you talk movies, you always, focus more towards more current stuff. But going back and revisiting some of these classics, I mean, I can't wait till you get to my personal favorite because I've got even more lines from that one.
Oh, boy.
I'll give you a hint. The word "some bitch" is involved.
Oh, some bitch. Well, once I say the movie,
when you get to it, I'll let you know. Don't worry, because I'll go, yeah.
Hey guys, thank you for joining in tonight. Oh, Andrew, you're missing a heck of a time. We're making us feel both old. We're talking the 1970s movies. So,
Hi, Andrea. Always glad to help.
the next three, the next four on the list are all Clint Eastwood movies. Go figure.
Okay.
The first one is High Plains Drifter,
Okay.
Outlaw Josie Wells,
Yep.
Play Misty for Me,
Mm-hmm.
and Dirty Harry. The only one I know that is Dirty Harry.
Feel lucky, punk?
No, not at all. You intimidate me, Ron.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
Yes, it's Clint Eastwood was and is, one of the great actors, and back then he was just he went from westerns to to being a cop to being a street fighter in like Any Which Way But Loose, with Clyde the orangutan, you know. So I mean, he covered pretty much all kinds of bases back then. So definitely enjoyed that.
um, I won't bring that up on the show, but Andrew, my prayers are there. So,
Yep.
after Dirty Harry, you have Badlands by
Okay.
Terrence Malick, Martin Sheen, Sissy Speck, Warren Oates.
SpaceX, Sissy SpaceX.
Okay.
Who
Oh,
was
wait.
who was Carrie?
And guess what the next movie on the list is?
Carrie.
Carrie.
It seems like they're bunching them by actor.
Yeah. A young John Travolta in the movie Carrie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
1976. Now, see, that's what I want to do one night is the older movies and then compare it to the newer version of it.
Yeah.
I think that would be a very good conversation as well.
Yeah. A lot of times the new ones don't measure up.
No,
I'll be honest
agree
with
with that.
you. Yeah. Nancy Allen, John Travolta, Sissy Spacek, and Carol Kane of Simca from Taxi, or she's done so much stuff. But Carol Kane was Carrie's mom with the dirty pillows.
And then she also played what Joanna Hugh, the older lady in this one.
Juliana Huff.
Yes, she also plays in the remake of it, doesn't she?
Not sure. I wasn't a big fan of the remake. I don't know that I watched it all the way through. So,
I just thought there was somebody that was tied in with the both of them. Maybe I'm wrong. Wasn't surprised me, but Andrew said, "Love you guys."
Did Sissy Spacek play the mom in the second one? In the remake?
She might have. I think that's what I'm thinking.
Maybe.
That is possible.
For some reason, that kind of jumps into my head.
I think you're right.
Or no, I guess it was Julianne Moore who played the mom.
Okay. No, so Sissy Speck was in the second one at all then?
No, I don't think so. Not in the 2013 one.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
I always thought there was a connection to him, but I guess I'm.
Yeah. I mean, for some reason I pictured Sissy in that role, but I don't know why.
After Carrie, you have Little Big Man with another Dustin Hoffman movie.
Dustin Hoffman, yeah.
3 Days of the Condor. Never heard of that. Robert Redford, though. You know who Robert Redford is. Redford.
Yeah. Yep.
The Last Picture Show.
Yeah.
Black Sunday.
Black Sunday was about the Super Bowl. Actually, a terrorist attack on the Super Bowl, which they used the Goodyear blimp as a weapon of terrorism. Very apropos for this week. Black Sunday.
Robert Shaw, even. Wow.
Very, very suspenseful. Very, very good movie. But yeah, definitely something that relates to this week.
Interesting. I'll have to go back and watch the show for this.
Yep.
When I first saw the picture of it, like I'm looking at the movie poster, I see a blimp. I thought it was maybe a movie about the Hindenburg explosion.
Nah, they actually used it as a tool of terrorism.
Wow. Interesting.
Yep.
Number 39 is another one of my favorites. This movie gets quote sometimes. I actually might have it. Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I know a lot of people who don't like this movie.
One of the most iconic soundtracks of all time.
Yes.
For a very long time was the number one selling album of all time. For definitely the highest selling musical album of all time.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the Bee Gees and some other groups associated with it, but they were just the soundtrack of that film was just amazing. John Travolta, very iconic role. A lot of the supporting roles were not really that big of a deal. Actually, when it came around to the sequel to Saturday Night Fever was called Staying Alive, and it was actually written and directed by Sylvester Stallone, believe it or not. So
I'm taking it Mr. Gary didn't like it. He's throwing up over there. He's a little queasy.
Didn't like Saturday Night Fever. Yeah, I mean, the acting was so-so. I mean, the story was not really a strong story, but it really wasn't meant to be. I mean, it was meant to be all about the music and the dancing and stuff, and that's taking advantage of the craze at the time, of the disco craze, and
I got
the white leisure suit and the whole 9 yards, So John Travolta spent a lot of time training dancing for that film, and did a pretty respectable job. I mean, his moves weren't bad.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at the upcoming Super Bowl commercial, he still got it a little bit.
A little bit. Now, while you check something I wrote you off to the side, the one thing that sticks out to me, if you ever watched the movie Short Circuit.
Yes.
And the iconic up all night type scene, Johnny Five is getting his input, and he's watching Saturday Night Fever in the background. Mm-hmm. So then Stephanie comes out and he does the whole Saturday Night Fever dance.
And he does the dance, yeah. Yeah.
So,
that was a great movie too.
Yes, we have a
Short Circuit.
Special guy. He wants to join us for movie night. I hope you don't mind. I want to say hi to Sam.
Hey, Sam.
Hello. How are you guys tonight?
Well,
doing great.
I'm kind of confused. I didn't want to call you out on your stream, but I'm going to do it on mine now. You got your Super Bowl background behind you, and you're wearing an Antonio Brown jersey. Got a couple screws loose?
Well, I haven't changed the background for your show yet, and I just randomly grabbed a jersey out of my closet to wear, because I've kind of gotten into this thing where on my stream I wear a football jersey. So,
but of all people, Antonio Brown. Like I said,
I just grabbed a random one.
Hey,
just a random one.
I
got this
enough.
on sale. I got it on sale. Okay.
Yeah, I hope you.
I think it was $40. Okay.
All right. Well, I Sam gets situated and joins the movie theater aspect of it. We're kind of talking about Ron's teenage years before my time. We're talking 1970s movies tonight.
1970s. Ooh.
By request, we had
Okay.
We have a Go Eagles in the chat from Miss Andrea. Amen. Don't make me start singing, Andrea.
Because then Sam can play the piano he's got behind him there.
Yep, the grand piano.
We'll switch it up and,
I say we should fluctuate it. Number 40 was also remade, but the classic's just as good. Bad News Bears. Walter Malfoy. You can't go wrong with that.
Again, Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yep. So Jodie Foster, very early role for her, obviously. Actually, her, I believe, second role, because Paper Moon, I guess, might have been the first. So I guess Bad News Bears was probably. Well, then also she did the Witch Mountain stuff for Disney.
Okay.
So I mean,
Race to Witch Mountain.
Yeah. So
those were good. I think the originals were fun to watch.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't so much about the Dwayne Johnson one that much.
That was one of his earlier movies, so I'll give him a little bit of leeway. But the originals are still classics.
Oh, classic, absolutely.
Especially if you watch them now, and they're just like you look at the graphics and the CGI from back in the day. There wasn't much.
True.
Yep. You almost see the strings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what movie do you see? If you want to go old movie seeing the strings, you can look up World of the Worlds. Not the remake with Dakota Fanning, Tom Cruise, but the original one. It actually won a lot of awards for it, but you see like the puppet strings on the spaceships. Yeah. It was very bizarre.
Well, go back and watch Plan 9 from Outer Space if you want to see. You go back to that Ed Wood movies, yeah, you'll see all kinds of crazy stuff.
Now, number 41, I'm being biased, I think should be in the top 20 easily. The original Rocky is number 41 on the list.
Yeah, great movie.
I feel like it's a little low.
So,
yeah, I definitely think it should be higher up. I mean, Stallone fought so hard to be the star of that movie. The studio wanted no parts of it. They said, we will buy the movie from you, but you're not going to be in it. And he would not relent until he got to play that role. And obviously it was a major part of his career, after the fact. So he held fast, and he just was not giving up control of that unless he got to actually be the star of the film.
I mean, it also had a good cast of Stallone, Talia Shelley, Burt Young, Carl Weathers. So, after
and Burgess Meredith as Mickey.
You can't go wrong with Mick. I completely forgot about Burgess. Oh God, I'm sorry, Mick. Don't cut me. I'm sorry.
Cut me, Mick. I can't see.
Now, the sequels, the first one or two sequels are okay, but 4 and 5, I got a bit much. And then Rocky Balboa, you don't really need to keep this going anymore.
Yeah. I suddenly am inspired to go grease a chicken.
Grease a chicken? I gotta go in the meat locker and start beating up raw meat.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And it's two turtles, Cuff and Link.
Yeah?
Yeah. And he's talking to the guy he used to work with on the docks, and they're walking down the docks, and he's saying, this is after he had won the title after the first one into the second one, and he's walking down with the old guy that he used to collect for down on the docks, and he's like, hey, Rock, you should invest in condominiums, and he says, oh, I'll never use them myself.
Yeah, definitely bizarre.
Yeah.
But if you want to talk about Rocky real quick, we're in good shape for Sunday. Someone put a Chiefs jersey on the Rocky statue.
Yes, they did. And after Travis Kelce warned them,
yep,
they went ahead and did it. So, make sure you take off Thursday.
Thursday
will probably be the parade if it follows the same pattern as the last Super Bowl. Then, when we win, the parade would be Thursday.
Can't be. It has to be Wednesday. I'm off on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, again, only if it follows the pattern from 5 years ago.
We shall see. We got another Go Birds in the chat from Miss Gina. Good evening, Gina.
How you doing?
Thanks for popping in. Number 42, Enter the Dragon, a Bruce Lee movie.
Bruce Lee, yes.
John Saxon, Jim Kelly. Sorry.
Yeah. Big difference. Jim Carrey in that would have been interesting.
Yeah, it would have been. Number 43, a movie to this day I will not watch. How about Pulp Fiction? Yeah, I think that came out late 90s, if I'm not mistaken. It was
but we could certainly talk about it, though.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, yeah. Great Tarantino film. Iconic. Actually, the resurrection of Travolta, pretty much he had dropped off the map for a while, and that was his coming back event. Where he just Tarantino wanted him for the role. He always envisioned him as Vincent. So when they partnered him and Samuel Jackson, and they read together, he knew right away that that's the combination that he wanted. And then throw Uma in the mix there.
Yep. I mean, it won for best writing, screenplay written directly for screen, Quentin Tarantino and Roger Avery.
Yep.
And then it was nominated for a couple more Oscars that didn't win.
Yeah.
Now, when I think of Pulp Fiction, if you want to throw out movies, I think of the movie Face Off.
Oh, Face Off.
With Nicolas Cage and John Travolta in it. Another classic movie. So, just don't play the soundtrack for the first time while driving in a dark road. Now I'm kind of curious. I mean, Gina's putting up me on a challenge, so don't listen to Pulp Fiction soundtrack for the first time while driving on a dark road.
Take notes on that one.
I got it all right in my head. I know.
Okay, there you go.
A, I know what road I would drive on, and B, I would have to get the soundtrack.
Yeah. So you're safe for now.
Yes, safe for now. Face Off is another great one. Yes.
Yeah. Just the way that they portrayed each other once they made the change. They said that Travolta was much more comfortable doing Nick than Nick was doing Travolta, because Nicolas Cage had to kind of dial it back a little bit, and Travolta just ran with it, and he just was, some of his lines in that were just outstanding.
Gotcha. Welcome back, Sam. We were talking about Pulp Fiction and Face Off.
Okay, Pulp Fiction. You might murder me for this one. Haven't seen. I know it. I know of it, but Face Off. I have seen that one, and that one was a very interesting movie because I watched it when I was younger, and I want to find it again, probably on one of the streaming services. I would love to find it again and go through it and watch it again, because it was a strange movie the first time I watched it. Well, and trying to keep up with who was who and all of that. Like, I just remember watching it when younger, just going, "This is so weird."
Well, Gina put a challenge in the chat, so if I go missing, blame Gina. She had said, "Don't listen to the Pulp Fiction soundtrack for the first time while driving on a dark road." Two things you don't do: put me up for a challenge and tell me a good time. So, if I go missing, it's all Gina's fault. No, unless I have to report from the side of the road. That'd be fun, too.
Yeah.
But, going back to our list real quick. Number 43, like I said, a movie I would not watch to this day. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Haven't seen that one, and I live in Texas.
and that was made on the budget of $8.50. I mean, it was like very, very, very low budget. But it, for the fact that it was made for next to nothing, it turned into a cult classic, and made a lot of money in the video market for sure, and still to this day is pretty iconic.
Yeah, and it's pretty iconic. It makes my stomach twist every time I see stuff from it. So no, thank you.
Well, when I see the Geico commercial where it's like, let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Why can't we just get in the running car?
Yeah, that's smart.
And then after Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you have the original Halloween movie.
Okay. One of the scariest scenes of all time is the very opening scene of Halloween, when he's looking through the eyes of the mask while he's about to kill the babysitter. And it just, the way that they shot that scene through the mask was really kind of struck a nerve with me when I watched it. It was just like that was a perfect way to start the movie.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just that time period, like people weren't expecting that type of movie to come out back then. But like the whole scene of him trying to get Jamie Lee Curtis in the closet's iconic, or like him putting the drape over his head with the glasses, makes him look like a ghost. I mean, there's so many iconic scenes from that first one that people still relate to this day. It's great. And you have Donald Pleasant, who's in my opinion, the best Sam Loomis that you ever have in any of these movies.
Yeah.
Then you have a very young Jamie Lee Curtis, obviously. Tony Moran.
PJ Souls was the girl with the guy with the ghost with the glasses.
Yes.
That was PJ Souls, who also appeared in Stripes as one of the MPs that got the Aunt Jemima treatment, actually. For those of you that are Stripes fans.
then you had Kyle Richards play Lindsay. She actually came back and replaced her role in the last two movies. What else we have? This is before Nick Castle, so he wasn't in this one. Charles Cyphers plays Beckett, then replaced later by Brad Dourif. Yeah, I mean, just that whole movie in general, I mean, definitely iconic. And look, they made 12 other movies after it, so.
Yeah, well, sometimes that's not a good thing.
No, but at least Halloween 2 that came out right after the first one wasn't as bad. Then they try to branch it out and involve different people into it with Halloween 3, and it bombed, but then they bring back Michael Myers, and it regained its fame, in a sense.
Yeah. Now, the other thing about Brad Dourif was he was the original voice of Chucky.
Yes. And that's why I love Chucky so much. If you want, I have my Chucky doll in the other room. I can go get Chucky if you want to hang out with Chucky for a night. I'll put him right on my desk right next to me. I'll just look at the camera.
There you go.
But after Halloween, you have Marathon Man, Dustin Hoffman.
Yes. Is it safe? I always was afraid to go to the dentist after watching Marathon Man. After watching Sir Laurence Olivier, drilling into his teeth. Ugh.
That just sounds painful.
Yeah.
What else we got?
You're going off of the IMDb list, correct?
Correct. We're down at number 46.
The Getaway. Oh, okay. So, did we skip Monty Python or did I miss that one?
Monty Python, no. We haven't got there for yet.
Oh, are we going up or down?
Down.
Down. Okay. Oh, I have Monty Python at 44.
No, number 44 on my list is Halloween. I think you're looking at a different site.
I have IMDb. I'm not sure what's listed.
I'm looking at the same thing. The 100 best films of the 70s.
Huh. Yet they have two different lists because I have 43 Halloween, 44 Monty Python.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Monty Python.
Go ahead.
Oh, that is one of my all-time favorites. One of the weirdest movies you will ever watch. From beginning to end, you don't have any clue what's going on. And just some of the classic lines that have come from that movie are absolutely great. I absolutely love it.
Absolutely. Shut up and go change your armor.
Mine was always towards the beginning when King Arthur is walking through the field and he sees the two people who are gardening and digging in the dirt and just goes after, and they have that whole like political, I guess you could call it political satire argument, which is funny. That movie, if you get the humor and the British humor behind it, it's hilarious.
Yep.
'Tis just a flesh wound.
I'm guilty. I've never seen it.
Oh my goodness!
Okay, I think this
now,
is a movie
now
that
he gets it now.
No, I just do.
Poked him right out of here.
I think that's a movie that everybody has to see at least once.
Absolutely.
At least once. The lines in it are just absolutely classic.
I told him we already got one. Yes, it's very nice.
Bring me a strawberry.
Of course I'm French. Why do you think I have this outrageous accent, you silly king?
That whole conversation there with the king and the French on the wall.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of elderberries.
What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
African or European? I don't know that.
Should I just see myself out?
Can I go back? Can I go back and have a little peril?
We are the knights who say "ni, ni."
Shh. We are no longer the knights who say "ni." We are the knights who say "icky, icky, icky, fatang, fruit boing."
Carrying a coconut. I love it. I love it, Gina. And John's just sitting here going, "They're crazy. They're crazy."
Should I just see myself out? Ron, let me know when you want to end the show. I'll call it night. But I'm just gonna let these two have some fun. I'll be
I
back.
think we could, if you gave us time. I think, John, we could go through the whole movie for you.
Oh, absolutely. We could go beginning to end without a problem.
Although I don't know about the dancing scene.
Yeah, that's a little.
No, but it's a good movie, John. It's a movie that you should at least see once. You will be utterly confused, but it's funny.
I gotta find my list. I have a laundry list, so I'll have to go to the bottom first.
No, that one needs to make it to the top.
You might have
Swamp Castle, right next to Swamp Castle.
I don't know it that well, but I could throw some lines in. See, look, now you got even Gina wanting to come on and recite lines of the movie with you guys.
Yeah, that's that great movie.
Of course, Gina. Yes, come join us.
Coming soon to the basement show near you. A reenactment of the movie Monty Python.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. You have to be specific. Because there's a lot of Monty Python.
That's right. He said he didn't see Running Man. That's right, didn't you, John?
I haven't seen Running Man. I haven't seen any
John.
of the Star Wars movies.
John.
Okay, Running Man maybe be excused. Monty Python can somewhat be excused, but Star Wars.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, we already had that discussion.
But I know me and John have had this conversation many times. It still amazes me that he has not had somebody tie him to a chair and make him watch Star Wars.
Not yet. It's coming, okay? We're waiting for the end of COVID to finally go away. My best friends have already cleared me out of spot in the basement. They have my chair ready to go. They have the TV ready to go. And I'm not allowed to come out of the basement until I watch all 12 movies.
Okay, I wouldn't make you watch all 12.
Nope, don't make me watch every single one.
I won't make you watch all 12, but the original 3.
4, 5, and 6. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. And then you'll get a passing grade if you watch 4, 5, and 6.
I just lost a friend. I'm sorry, Gina.
So here's the deal, John. If by this summer, when you make your way up to New York, if you haven't seen those Star Wars movies yet, I think I know what we're doing for my bachelor party.
Yeah.
And actually, one fun fact: Running Man was actually based on a Stephen King story, on a short story by Stephen King.
Yes, that is true. Was it called Running Man? Yeah, it was something else. Or was it Running Man?
I don't know if the titles matched up, but I know it was based on a Stephen King story.
Gina, I hope I can work back your friendship. I'm sorry I lost you as a friend. I appreciate you still hanging out for Ron and Sam. I'll be quiet about the rest of the movies. I'm sorry. Please forgive me.
Hey, we're a little passionate. You know, what can I tell you?
Well, I love it.
What's our next movie?
Papillon. Papillon. Yes.
Yes. Steve McQueen.
Yeah, and guess who else?
Prison movie.
John, you want to send me the link to your list because apparently mine is completely different than yours.
Sure.
So if you'll send me a link.
Oh, Gina's saying harsh words. Oh, I wouldn't be here if it was just for Ron.
If it was just Ron.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I see how it is, Gina.
She said it, I didn't.
Only because she worked for me for a long time, so she knows I can't fire her now. So
Sam, send it to you right now. 1 second. Where you at?
I don't know. I'm lost in translation right now.
It's all good.
Lost in Translation, Bill Murray. Oh, sorry.
Wait, what movie? I haven't seen that one yet.
Lost in Translation was a Bill Murray movie.
Gotcha. Number 47. Serpico?
Serpico. Al Pacino.
Yep.
Yep. Police movie.
Haven't seen. I've heard good things about it, but I haven't actually watched it.
Nominated for some Academy Awards as well, I believe.
Al Pacino, John Randolph.
There's no yawning allowed on my show. What are you doing?
You go deal with 8th graders for 8 hours every day for 5 days a week, and then tell me you're not going to be yawning at the end of it.
The next one is MASH. Now, I guess they made a MASH movie before the TV show, or the TV show before the movie?
No.
The movie was first.
Yeah.
The movie was first.
And then they brought the show in because it did pretty well. The movie itself did pretty well. Now
Robert Altman movie.
Yeah, I remember the show and growing up watching it with my dad. But I don't think I ever actually saw the movie.
The only actor to translate from the original movie to the series was Gary Burkhoff, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I love Radar. He's one of my favorites. The fact that he was able to send an entire Jeep home piece by piece.
And I mean, that's going back to 1970.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it says the 70s list after all, so.
Donald Sutherland, Elliot Gould.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary Burkhoff. Yep. Sally Kellerman was Hot Lips.
Oh, good old Hot Lips.
Tom Skerritt from Top Gun.
Now, is that who I'm thinking is with the mustache?
Yes.
Okay. So he's like the chief commando officer in Top Gun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
I've actually been watching the show lately. Loved the show. I mean, I watched a couple episodes of MASH. My grandfather made me watch it based off because he served in Korea. He was part of the Korean conflict back in the 60s. He was a general chauffeur. Till he took the general's car out one night and crashed it. Then he got put on shithouse duty the rest of the time.
That'll do it.
I used to hear so many stories from my grandfather. He unfortunately passed away about 2 years ago, but he would tell me a lot about Korea, and it was awesome to always hear it. And then he always talked about the TV show, how they try to make it kind of relate to it in a way.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
A man with many stories, that's for sure.
Veterans usually are.
Yeah. Next one on the list, The Sting.
The Sting.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Robert Redford.
Yeah, Robert Shaw.
Paul Newman.
Now, weirdly enough, okay, I'll have to bring it on one day. The movie doesn't show you the butler for that movie, which is Groves. They have Miss Vanderkeef telling the story in the movie, but you don't actually meet Barney, who is the butler, right? Well, while I was in junior high, we did this play my 8th grade year, and I got the part of Groves the butler for The Sting. I actually still have my script for it.
Night, Curtis.
Good night, Curtis. Thanks for popping in tonight, buddy. But I started in the play this thing, and I loved it. And I actually own this movie. I love watching it.
Best Picture, I believe.
Let's see. Won 7 Oscars. So let's see. It won Best Picture, Best Director, Best Writing, Best Art Direction, Best Costume Design, Best Film Editing, Best Music, and Best Actor. No, wait a minute. No, Best Actor was nominated. Never mind. So,
and the soundtrack, the theme song is all instrumental.
True. I do remember that. So, then it won just a bunch of different awards, but all good over there, Smokey?
Yeah. I'm good.
You sure?
Oh, yeah. Had to take a quick phone call from the fiance. I kind of want to live, you know.
Well, that's your third one since you jumped in. I just want to make sure everything's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's
good.
Number 50 is Patton.
Patton. Oh, it's a great movie, especially if you're a history buff. World War II is one of my favorite. I mean, I'm a history teacher, but I teach American history, colonial era, but World War II has always been my favorite. And Patton, this movie was really, really good.
Yeah, George C. Scott was amazing.
Yeah, and so it's awesome movie, especially for those of you who are history buffs and really enjoy not so much the documentaries, but seeing the story of World War II, or like with MASH, Korea, played out. Some of my favorite movies are war movies that are based off of true stories. So this one's a good one.
So after that, you have a movie called Nashville.
Also Robert Altman.
Yep, Robert Altman. Shelley Duvall. So, you got that one. All the President's Men. Dustin Hoffman again. Robert Redford.
Which was based on the Watergate scandal.
Yep.
So that came out like right around the same time period then. Because wasn't the Watergate scandal in like 72, 73?
72, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they made a movie less than 4 years later? Wow.
Bob Woodward wrote the book immediately after the trials.
Well, I'm just reading Gina's comment, so I started reading it out loud. She's saying it was amazing. I guess it's another movie I have to add to my list.
Yep.
My list is pretty long. All That Jazz, a musical.
Oh yeah, Roy Schneider. That was I really enjoyed that movie a lot, and that was it was kind of hard to follow at times because it really jumped around a lot. I mean, there was a lot of flashbacks in it, and it just it was back and forth to present time to pre-time, and it was but actually I think Roy Schneider, who was from Jaws, actually is loosely based on Bob Fosse, the choreographer. So
for All That Jazz, according to this, it says director choreographer Bob Fosse tells his own life story.
Right, correct.
So it's, I mean, the man himself is directing his own.
And he handpicked Roy Schneider to play the role because he thought that he was he closely mirrored his the way that he pictured himself at that time.
Yeah, that's always been that's always one of those questions. Who would you pick to play you in a movie about your life? And Bob Fosse, well, he actually got to do that.
Yeah.
And he picked Roy Schneider.
Well, that's a good question, actually. Who would you pick, Ron?
To play me?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I never really gave it too much thought. I think like Timothy Hutton.
Gotta look him up. Why do I know that name? Timothy Hutton
would probably be one that comes to mind because when I was younger, people said that I had a resemblance. So
let's see. I'm gonna pull up an image of him.
Probably not so much now.
Well, let's see.
He's had some plastic surgeries and stuff. So, and shockingly enough, I have not.
Well, how about this? Next Friday, I will have a side-by-side comparison picture for you.
Okay. How about you, John?
Well, looking at how I look right now, you take away the beard and the hair, I say Jake Gyllenhaal. I think he could do a very good me.
Okay. I was picturing somebody else for you.
Go ahead. Who you got? Let me hear.
In order to properly make sure that I'm correct, I just need you to repeat something for me.
Okay.
Mana.
Mana. Why am I getting set up right now? Now I'm confused. Who's that supposed to be?
It's a Muppet.
Oh,
you've never heard the Mana song? John, if you tell me you've never heard the Mana song, I'm driving to your house right now. I will turn off my camera. I will come to your house and I will wait and watch you watch it. And we'll probably watch Star Wars while we're at it.
Why am I? Mamana. Like I'm trying to think how you spell this.
How do you spell Mana? This is one of life's great questions.
Well, no, who's it supposed to be? What Muppet?
They're literally the Muppets that the only thing that they do is sing Mana.
Oh, so you're just saying any Muppet?
No, that specific Muppet.
Why am I thinking you're thinking Kermit the
They
Frog?
don't have a name. They don't have a specific name.
You're just being nice.
I'll send you a link after the show.
All right.
So you can watch. How about you, Sam?
See, I've known this one for years because my facial features haven't changed. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Okay. I can see that.
Wait, you accept his, but you give me a hard time for saying Jake Gyllenhaal? Everyone's picking on me on my own show. I have hashtag quiet I'm shaving the other night. I'm getting called a man child. I get called a man child. You guys are rude.
You forgot hashtag fuzzy face.
I was trying to be nice and not remind myself.
No, but Philip Seymour Hoffman. This back in college, somebody posted on Facebook, and it was a side by side of me and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and like, it's an uncanny resemblance. And like, as much as I wanted to say no, it's not, I'm like, I can't deny it. I can't deny it. But
and
Philip
I mean,
Seymour Hoffman.
He's a great actor too. I mean, I liked a lot of the roles that he did.
I loved him in Mission Impossible. That's the
Mission
one.
Impossible. Yeah.
Mission Impossible. What was it? 3? 2? 3?
I think it was 3. I don't know. I don't remember. And then Capote.
Mm-hmm.
There was another one. I'm thinking. Oh, Twister. He was in Twister.
Dusty.
Yeah.
What is it? Sam, I'm gonna send you a picture. You're gonna hate me for it, but you guys want to pick on me? I'm gonna pick on Sam. I sent you a picture. I want to see his reaction when he opens this.
That's it. Hold on. Let it rain. I love it. I love it.
Have you ever watched the movie Along Came Polly? He plays Sandy Lyle. No. What the hell is this character's name? Yeah, Sandy Lyle. And he's playing basketball, and he's like banking off the backboard. Let it rain! and just the facial expression alone reminds me of Sam.
Nice.
So now you gotta go play Jesus Christ Superstar, Sam. You gotta beat up a bunch of kids and take the leading role. You guys want to pick on me? I'm gonna pick on you right back.
Fair enough.
Go for it. I came in here being picked on about my jersey, so you know.
There you go. See,
and
you set the tone.
And you got a comment from Matt before you.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I don't know what I did to Matt, but you know.
Yeah, just tell him at least. Well, just tell him at least you didn't get confetti bombed on my show.
Yet.
He said that was trending on TikTok. So,
like I said, I watched it a few times, so definitely.
Well, of course, I had to watch it, editing it, but
you got to live it.
People were laughing at my reaction because I had both hands like this.
Yeah.
My face was bright red. After all that jazz, you have a movie called Deliverance.
Oh yeah.
John Boorman, Burt Reynolds, Ned Beatty.
You sure do got a pretty mouth, boy. Squeal for me. Squeak.
Looks like he didn't do that good, though. He only grossed $7 million.
Jerry Reed also in that. Snowman.
Jerry Reed, let's see. Jerry Reed.
You know, I see some of these names of people who are still acting today, and I'm like, were they really acting back then? You know, like Dennis Quaid.
That's how some of them got destroyed, man. Oh, you're looking at the next one, Brick.
The next one, yeah. I was just looking forward. Yeah, but even Burt Reynolds, he was acting till not too long ago.
Yeah.
Oh, he passed away.
Yeah.
That kind of stunted the rest of his acting, yeah.
Yeah.
He was in an ashtray in Smokey the Bandit 6.
He was the ashes in the car ashtray.
Yes. Yes.
Wow, you guys are ruthless. That's right. I'm driving down the road the other day and I'm start quoting Grandma's Boy by driving the car by myself. If you've never seen Grandma's Boy, that's a very bizarre, like stoner type movie, also. But
well, better that than driving Miss Daisy.
Yeah. Cardinal Knowledge, never heard of that one. Jack Nicholson appearing.
Nicholson.
Art Garfunkel.
Yeah. One of his few acting roles.
Chronicling the lifelong sexual development of two men who meet and become friends in college. Interesting. Midnight Express. Brad Davis, Bo Hopkins, never heard of that.
Yeah.
McCabe and Miss Miller. Blue Collar. Last Tango in Paris.
That one rings a bell, but I don't think I've seen it.
Brando also was one that at the time was essentially rated X initially, and it's been since re-rated. Last Tango.
Well, according to this, it has an NC-17 rating.
Right. Yeah. So, which was at the time that it was released, there was no NC-17. It was just rated X. And it got very little play in the theaters, obviously, for that reason.
Hey, it still grossed $36 million, though.
It did, because there were certain theaters that would show it and certain chains that wouldn't. Probably would have done a lot better.
Those are the late night showings, the after 10 o'clock showings.
Yeah, yeah. Right before Rocky Horror. At the Harwin on a Saturday night, Friday night.
When theaters used to say no children allowed after like 10 o'clock.
There's still some movie theaters that do that. Are you kidding me?
Like, I wish all of them did it.
Yeah.
Because you go to a late night movie and you get some of those kids who start getting tired. Like, not blaming them, but they get tired and restless and they start making all sorts of noise.
Yeah, you got the parents that bring their kid to a midnight showing of a brand new movie is like, why?
Yeah.
not just a midnight showing, but Marvel midnight showing, which usually lasts 2.5 to 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah, very true.
Hey, kid, does this napkin smell like chloroform?
What's chloroform?
Now we know what Ron used to do back in the day.
Hey, I never missed a line in a movie.
I fell asleep doing one midnight release. I forget what
It's
what it
even
was.
easier now with the recliners.
Oh man, I love those.
But I don't like what movie theaters are doing. Especially AMC. Now they're charging extra money for those middle seats and like the high demand areas. They're charging people more money for those seats.
Really?
I stick with Regal.
I'll have to see if I can find the article. I'll send it to you on it. It's like the price gouging the middle row seats by like $3-4 because they're called high demand seats.
Well, it's surprising based on the fact that coming out of COVID, a lot of these movie chains were on the brink of bankruptcy.
Yeah.
For them to go that route with the
Most of them
prices
were.
already as expensive as they are.
Yeah, and I feel like, we look at the movie theater. It's like you guys are barely hanging on. Why are you price gouging?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already
Yeah.
gouge it at the concession stand. You should just, But the problem is that basically movie theaters don't really make any money from the ticket sales. The ticket sales almost exclusively go towards the actual rental of the films.
True.
The money that they're paying to the studios. The only profit margin that the theaters have is in the concessions.
Yeah, I'm actually pulling that article up real quick. Amazon has announced Sightline, a new 3-tier pricing system in which moviegoers will pay a certain price for their tickets depending on where they sit. So, standard Sightline, the most common seats are available for the traditional ticket price. Value Sightline, seats in the front row as well as ADA seats are available at a lower price than standard Sightline seats. Valued Sightline's pricing is available only to AMC Stubs members, including the free tier membership. And then you have preferred Sightlines. These seats are typically in the middle of the auditorium and are priced higher than standard Sightline seats. AMC Stubs A-list members may make reserves in the preserved Sightline section at no additional cost.
Okay, so they're just trying to push people to make sure they're joining the loyalty program.
Yeah, and then it says Sightline applies to all show times after 4 p.m. It won't be in effect for Discount Tuesday. The new pricing system has already been launched in select markets and roll out nationally by the end of 2023.
Okay.
As long as they don't take away 5-hour movies, I'm happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
William H.
I used to. I don't anymore because they got rid of the Regal Theater here. But I did like what Regal did with their sort of unlimited plan.
Yeah.
I would pay about $19 a month, but that $19 a month got me into as many movies as I wanted.
Makes sense.
There were very few limitations. There had to be an hour and a half between movies that I would go see, so I couldn't just go and spend literally all day in the movie theater. They shut down the Regal Theater that was literally just down the street, and the closest one to me now is like a 25-30 minute drive.
Jeez.
And I'm like, not worth it. Not quite worth it. So,
not to cut you off, Sam, but I kind of agree with Gina in that comment, Ron.
Yeah, okay. I could see that.
What do you think, Sam? William H. Macy, the playing Ron.
I'd have to look him up. Let's see.
Wait, you don't know who William H. Macy is?
Well, to get a picture of his face. Like, I know him, but it's just picturing his face. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
The shoveler
The
from Mystery Men.
The clue.
The husband from Boogie Nights that was married to Nina Hartley.
Can I be really cool to you right now, Ron? Good
What?
evening. Good evening, Gary. The dad from Shameless.
Yeah, yeah.
The drunken.
Yeah.
The American version or the British version?
The British version is 10 times worse. Man, but William H. Macy's a good one. We actually had talked about him a couple weeks ago when we were talking about the Cooler.
Yeah, yeah. The Cooler with Alec Baldwin, yeah.
That was a great movie that you were surprised I've seen.
I was very surprised. That was always one of my secret recommendations that I always recommended to people because it was such a great movie.
Definitely.
That a lot of people had never heard of because it really didn't get a wide theatrical release, but it was a great movie.
Which movie?
The Cooler. It was Alec Baldwin, William H. Macy, and I believe Scarlett Johansson, if I'm not mistaken.
Might be. Let me see.
Oh no, Maria Bello. I'm sorry, Maria Bello.
What year was this?
2004.
204. Yeah. Definitely worth a watch if you can get it on streaming.
Who else is in this? Excuse me. No, I'm thinking of a different movie.
Okay, so what movie's next? Kind of got away from the movie list.
Yeah.
Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid.
Okay.
Good old Western movie. Sorry, got hiccups now. Then you have Straw Dogs. Dustin Hoffman again.
Mm-hmm.
Scarecrow.
Gene Hackman, Al Pacino.
Yeah, that sounds like a good combo. Silver Streak. Never heard that one.
Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor.
Interesting combination right there.
Yeah. And they did a few movies together. They did Stir Crazy. They did Silver Streak. They did, I know those two right off the top of my head. So I think they did 3 or 4 different movies together. And actually, Richard Pryor was given writing credit in Blazing Saddles, which Gene Wilder was in. But Mel...
such a good movie.
Mel asked Richard to review the script and say, what can I do and what can I not do? And then gave him a writing credit for the film.
And at that one, you had Paper Moon. Ryan and Tatum O'Neal, are they related?
Yes. They are. Father and daughter.
Really?
Yes.
So they started in a movie together. How cool is that?
And Paper Moon, and she was one of the youngest actors at the time to be nominated for an Oscar.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And she was like about 11 or 12 years old, I think. And then after that, it was a while before somebody younger was Anna Paquin from The Piano. I believe that she was younger, and then she took over that record, I think, at that time.
Anna Paquin was in The Piano, Fly Away Home.
Yeah.
She was in a couple of movies as a kid, so.
Yep.
And Gina's saying she loved Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor together. Now I gotta look at this movie and watch it, Silver Streak.
They did have a good chemistry together.
And that's what you want. You want people that you can relate to when you do these movies.
Yeah. Stir Crazy was another good one, though. Definitely.
Stir Crazy. Got it. Write them all down, I promise.
Yep.
Being There is number 66.
Being There?
Yeah,
Being There.
Peter Sellers. Absolutely an amazing, amazing film. Best Picture. Best Actor, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think Peter Sellers did win for that. Played a character named Chauncey Gardner, and he was actually he was illiterate, and he could barely, form a sentence, and he was actually the gardener, and he ended up getting. Everybody thought that he was a genius, and he got into high society and politics and everything, and he was basically barely a functional human, but Peter Sellers played that role so awesomely that is definitely worth a watch.
So he was nominated for Best Actor in a Leading Role, but he didn't win.
He didn't win.
Best Actor
He deserved to win.
Who won it in '79?
Well, it would be 1980 because the movie came out in '79.
True.
I had to look, but Melvin David Douglas won Best Actor in a Supporting Role. So you'd have to probably look that up.
What year? 1980.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Dustin Hoffman.
For Kramer versus Kramer.
Yep, Dustin Hoffman. Then you
also had Peter Sellers from Being There,
Yeah.
Roy Schneider from All That Jazz, which we talked about earlier.
Yep.
And Justice for All, Al Pacino.
Yep.
And Jack Lemmon from The China Syndrome.
Yep.
And then Sally Field won Best Actress.
Yeah, she would be Jane Fonda.
Mm-hmm.
Meryl Streep won Best Actress in a Supporting Role.
For Kramer versus Kramer.
Kramer versus Kramer.
Dustin Hoffman.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm not gonna go too far down the list, but
yeah.
Genius saying put your glasses on.
I left him at work.
Oof.
Oh, Genius. Okay, Genius said he might write them down, but I won't watch them. So I put this, and then he's like, "But he'll watch the Goonies again." Damn right I will.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, you guys. Howard and Maude was number 67. Annie Hall, 68.
Woody Allen.
Manhattan. Another Woody Allen.
Another Woody Allen. We get two, both Annie Hall and Manhattan, both Woody Allen, Diane Keaton movies.
Yep.
Yeah, both directed by Woody Allen too.
Yep.
70. The original Superman.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Christopher Reeve.
Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder.
Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman and Ned Beatty as Otis. Valerie Perrine. Also.
And Marlon Brando.
Yeah, you got to throw Marlon Brando in there. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I think of all the Superman movies, I think Superman 2 was my favorite.
I hear that a lot.
What's that?
I said I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
That Superman 2.
Yeah, 3 was Richard Pryor. But 2 was the one with General Zod.
Mm-hmm.
So the fight scene in Times Square alone was worth the price of admission for sure.
Let's see, what do we have after Superman? Bound for Glory.
Never heard of it.
The early life of Woody Guthrie.
Don't Look Now. Never heard that. Donald Sutherland.
A young Donald Sutherland.
Yeah, it had to be 1973. Ooh.
Oh, I'm thinking of how old Donald Sutherland looked in the early 2010s when he did the Hunger Game movies.
Yeah,
he was looking his age. So to go back to 73, this was a young Donald Sutherland.
Well, hold on, I'm gonna go back up for a second. What was that? Just think about it. He was in Animal House in '78, so look how young he looked in that movie. Now, rewind 5 years prior to that.
Well, the funny thing is, when he did that movie, because he was born in 35, so when he did that movie, that was what, 73?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was already 42.
Wow. No. 32. What year was he born? 32?
35.
he teaches history, not math.
So he was 38.
I was told there'd be no math.
I was told too. Never mind. Damn, be fired.
He's old. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
An unmarried woman. The killing of a Chinese bookie.
You're getting deep in the list now, man. We're getting into movies that probably nobody's seen.
Yeah, I'm scrolling down to see okay, from this point, I see Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, let's talk about Smokey and the Bandit.
At 77,
that's the one I was telling you. That's the one, John. Remember you told me to let you know when it was the one? That's the one. Some bitch. Jackie Gleason, unbelievable role. Just amazing job. Iconic. And I could recite the entire movie from beginning to end without question.
Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm here all night. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You want me to just go through the whole... We don't have enough time for all that.
No.
There is no way that you could come from my loins. First thing I'm going to do when I get home is punch your mama in the mouth.
Damn, going away for the cut to it.
Yeah.
Mom, I hope you're not watching. So, are you shocked to see it at number 77 on this list?
Well, with as popular as it is today, yes. But it kind of became one of those classics that just sort of, as it got older, I don't know.
In a way, Hal Needham had trouble getting that made. He was shopping it from studio to studio and just was not having a lot of success. Hal Needham was a stuntman, basically. And he wrote the script and he shopped it around and he had trouble selling it. And he was actually friends with Burt Reynolds. And when he got Burt to agree to do it, then all of a sudden he was able to secure the funding to get the film made. But there was a real good chance that it wasn't going to get made. And then when then Burt got Jerry Reed involved, and then Jerry Reed took on the role of Snowman, and the rest, shall we say, is history.
Now, I have a question, going back one. A movie called Stay Hungry. How did this movie bomb so bad with Jeff Bridges, Sally Field, and Arnold Schwarzenegger in it? Have you heard of it?
I'm not familiar.
I'm gonna take a guess that it was one of those movies where they brought in all the big named actors and actresses together trying to make this super movie, and it just kind of fell out because everybody's expecting this super great movie, and then it just kind of flopped because everybody's like, oh, that wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was 67% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, I got a 60 on the Metascore and a 5.6 out of 10. Ouch. So, I don't know, it just catch me off guard to see some of those names and then see it so low, just like Smokey and the Bandit being so low.
I mean, look at the movie Red. The movie Red with Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Still, once again, all these huge names, but there's not a lot of people know about Red, and it doesn't do very well.
Good point.
Gina, you're talking about Cannonball Run.
I was gonna say that Sammy Davis and Cannonball Run was the first one that popped in my head for some reason.
Yeah. I think that's the one that she's talking about. And yeah, there were a ton of stars in that too. An amazing amount of names, stars in it.
You sometimes bringing in the big names can work. But it gets hard. Yeah, I think one of the biggest successes with the big names is Marvel. With the Avengers, you had a whole bunch of big names. But I think the key to that one is it was Marvel who sort of made them big. Yeah. Or made them big again.
Makes sense.
If you want to go back to a film where they just jam-packed it with people, that I can. The first one that jumps in my head was a movie called "It's a Mad, 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 Mad World," which at the time had just a huge amount of stars of the day in it, and everybody from Sid Caesar to Buddy Hackett and just a ton of different topical stars of the day back in Sid Caesar. I think I said. I'm trying to think of some of the others, but there were a ton. I just have to refresh my memory, but that was like an epic movie.
Gotcha. So while you do that, after Smoking the Bandit, we have Phantasm, which is Michael Baldwin, Bill Thornberry, Roger Bannister, Kathy Lester. Sam's Lot was 79.
Sam's Lot was a great Stephen King story.
Yes, I 100% agree.
The book was amazing. The movie underwhelmed.
I'm currently reading Stephen King's newest one, Fairy Tale.
Okay. So It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. Spencer Tracy, Milton Berle, Sid Caesar, Buddy Hackett, Ethel Merman, Mickey Rooney, Phil Silvers. This was in 1963.
Jeez.
So, I mean, there's almost every big actor of the day. Jonathan Winters, Phil Silvers, Buster Keaton, Jimmy Durante, Peter Falk, Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis.
So I mean, that was just loaded with people. It was a spectacle for the early 60s.
I guess we have to do a 60s night one night and see how many movies I probably know.
Yeah.
I won't know any.
Suspiria, number 80.
Well, maybe one or two.
Piranha, 81. Silent Running, Lenny, The Way We Are, The Main Event, Barbra Streisand. There you go.
Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford were both in The Way We Were too.
That's true.
But, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to call it a night.
Yeah.
But thank you for letting me join, guys. I appreciate it. I know I wasn't able to join for too long, but thank you for letting me join. I've had some fun.
Thanks for popping in, Sam.
Yeah.
Of course.
Good. Headache's gone. Just kidding, Sam. You're still watching. I love you. The Main Event, Parallax Review, Every Which Way But Loose.
Now that's the Clint Eastwood one I was talking about with the monkey, with the orangutan. Clyde. Right turn, Clyde. And he punched the guy in the window, yeah.
San Fernando Valley Adventures of a Trucker Turned Prize Fighter and his pet orangutan Clyde.
Yep.
I want an orangutan for a pet.
And then there was this like biker gang that was chasing them, and this orangutan was just torturing these bikers, something fierce. He was like a street fighter. Philo Beto was his name, the character's name.
Philo Beto. Let's see. Clicked on the wrong one. Where's that? Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, no problem, Sam. Yep, Philo Beto.
Yep. And they did two movies. It was Sonderlock and Clint Eastwood.
Wow, Jeffrey Lewis was in this too?
Jeffrey Lewis, yeah. He was like one of the main characters. He was like Philo's buddy that he traveled with.
Orville? And yeah, Beverly D'Angelo's in this.
Yeah. Sandra Locke, who Clint Eastwood actually, I think, either married or had a relationship with after meeting during those movies.
Interesting. Close some of these windows real quick. All right. Network comes in at number 88.
I'm surprised that's that low. Also Best Picture. Faye Dunaway and
William Holden, Peter Finch,
Yeah.
Robert.
Peter Finch with the famous line, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore."
Well,
Yelling out the window.
now, when I say his first name, you probably know the last name. Robert.
What's that?
I'm going to say his first name. What's his last name? Robert Duvall.
It's Robert Duvall. Yeah.
I was waiting for you to correct me like you've been all night.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I have a speech impediment problem, so sometimes I don't say words clearly. So, I do my best.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
The Passenger comes in at 89. Jack Nicholson. South, never heard that one. Sisters.
Going South, did you say?
No. Sisters and Self.
Oh, okay.
Sleuth. Self.
Because I think Going South was a Nicholson and Belushi.
Yes. Don't think you want to see that on this list, though.
No. That was probably in the 80s. That was 78.
What, Going South?
Yeah.
Then it didn't make the list.
Yeah, that was Nicholson and Christopher Lloyd and Belushi.
No, I'm gonna look this one up before I think I know. I think this was 82. It was, okay. No wonder it's not on this list. I thought it was. After Sisters, A Touch of Class, Barry Lyndon, Duel, Night Moves, Kingdom of the Spiders, William Shatner,
Yeah.
Earthquake,
We were talking about Earthquake earlier with the setup in the theaters, where they brought in these big giant speakers into the theaters that were showing Earthquake, and they literally turned these speakers on to the point where when an earthquake was happening on the screen, these speakers made the actual theater shake, made the seats shake. You could literally feel the vibration because of what they were doing with these speakers at the time.
That's crazy. I mean, it grossed $79.7 million.
Yeah, it was quite a novelty at the time. I mean, nobody had ever done anything like that before.
The Poison Adventure, Gene Hackman, Shelley Winters,
Poseidon Adventure, yeah. Which they ended up remaking years later, but the original was still the best one.
Number 99 out of 100. Airport,
yeah. Which, if we didn't have Airport, we would have never had Airplane, which was directly a spoof of the Airport movies. And there was Airport 77, which was a sequel. So they actually made two. Mm-hmm. And they were, a lot of the storylines from the original Airport movies were incorporated into Airplane.
Interesting. And then number 100 on the list, I'm going to see if you can guess it. It stars Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, William Holden, and Faye Dunaway. And it came out in 1974.
And it's not The Sting, because we already talked about that one. So, Butch Cassidy?
Nope. And the director is John Gilliman.
Okay. And it was Newman and Redford?
Newman and Steve McQueen.
Oh, Newman and McQueen. No, I don't know.
The Towering Inferno.
Okay, yep.
It is. That's number 100 on the top 100 best films of the 1970s.
Irwin Allen was actually the, I don't know if he was the writer or the director, or he might have been the producer. But I know it was definitely an Irwin Allen production.
Susie Blakely, Richard Chamberlain, Robert Vaughn, Robert Wagner.
Yeah, a lot of stars in those movies too.
Yeah.
Earthquake and Towering Inferno and all
won
those.
3 Oscars.
Yeah.
Best cinematography, best film editing, and best music.
Okay.
Interesting. But the movie I thought that came out in the 70s was actually 1982.
Okay.
And it's another one of my favorite movies. It's called Night Shift.
Ah, yeah, it was Keaton and Henry Winkler
Yep, and Shelley
and
Long.
and Shelley Long. And wasn't that Ron Howard that directed it, maybe?
I will tell you in 1.5
No?
seconds. Yep, Ron Howard, you're right.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, pretty much Michael Keaton's breakthrough role.
Yes.
Um,
But soon after that, he had a run in the 80s before he did Batman, like Mr. Mom, a couple other
Mr. Mom,
movies.
yeah. One that I really liked him in that time period was Multiplicity.
Oh, great movie.
Great movie with the clones. That was hilarious movie.
Hi, my name's Doug. I like pizza.
I'm Doug. Yeah.
I was actually making fun that I was actually talking to people the other day about that movie at work, and nobody had ever seen it before.
Oh man,
I, was like,
I got to go back and watch that one again. I like that one a lot.
My one, like, that's a good one from the 90s, Multiplicity. Another good one from the 90s he did that not a lot of people talk about, but I enjoyed it, was a movie called Desperate Measures.
Okay.
It's him. I don't know if you ever seen it or not, but
I don't think I have.
if you like a good action suspense movie,
Okay.
this one's what you're going to watch. It's Michael Keaton and Andy Garcia together.
Oh, okay.
Michael Keaton plays a deranged psychopath, and Andy Garcia is a San Francisco police officer. If you want, next time I know that you're going to be in the area, I'll let you borrow the DVD.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
I mean, it flopped. Don't get me wrong. It only got a 6.1 out of 10.
Yeah.
But for the time period, it came in 1998. I actually enjoyed it.
Nice.
So that one's good. But Mr. Mom's a classic. He does.
Oh yeah. 220, 221, whatever it takes.
Obviously, the Batman movies. What other one? And then in between the Batman movies, he also has a movie called Pacific Heights.
Pacific Heights was Rebecca De Mornay, I believe. And,
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Was Pacific Heights Melanie Griffith?
Melanie Griffith. Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I was thinking of something else.
And Matthew Modine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Melanie Griffith, Matthew Modine, and Michael Keaton. And Mako, who is a well-known Japanese actor.
Yep.
Has a role in that movie, so.
Cool.
I thought that was him. Great movie. What, I guess she's talking about Pacific Heights, so maybe. What movie was a great movie, Gino? Just clarify what she's talking about real quick. But, yeah, Pacific Heights is one of the great all-time suspense movies I've ever watched.
Yeah, it was very, very suspenseful. I agree with you there. It took me a second to make the right connection there.
Okay. She said Pacific Heights.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if you want to talk about some of his roles before Batman, the one that a lot of people, again, all-star cast for 1989, The Dream Team.
Yeah. Yep. Also Christopher Lloyd.
Yep. Jack London.
Yeah.
Who else is in this? Hold on. Stephen Faust.
Yeah.
Peter
Who's
Boyle.
Flounder from Animal House.
Yep.
Stephen Faust. Yeah.
That movie's a classic.
And they were from a mental institution or something, right?
Yep. They were going out. They were going out on a day. The doctor gets jumped or whatever. So now they're left to fend for themselves and fit in society because they're trying to get to the baseball game.
Right. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah. Good stuff.
Another one in my collection. I like I said, I have so many movies behind me.
Yeah.
And Michael Keaton, top three one of my all time favorite actors.
And he was, and I'll say it, he was the best Batman.
Yes, and Christian Bale's a close second.
Yes, but they both, the reason they were both the two best Batmans was because they were the two best Bruce Waynes.
I agree.
And that's how you have to measure Batman, is how good are they at the difference between the two.
Yep.
They were both very believable as Bruce Wayne.
Yep. I 100% agree with you. But we can talk about Batman another night because it's getting late. I'm looking at the clock. Adam West. There's a name drop for you.
Yeah, there you go. I liked his work in Family Guy.
Yeah, I mean, Adam West is another classic. I have the original Batman poster, believe it or not. So
nice.
But we will say Batman for another night.
Okay, sounds good. We could do a whole night on Batman.
Hey,
we could go all the way from the original series to Adam West all the way up.
There you go. That sounds like a plan. But I think I'm going to call it a night. It's 11:30 already. Ron's probably getting tired. I got another day tomorrow.
Yep. 5:30 comes early.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get you out of here. Appreciate Gina hanging out. We had Sam hop on the actual show for a little bit tonight. Gary stopped in. Matt dropped his lovely comments.
Curtis was in.
Curtis,
Gary.
Mr. Gary.
Mr. Gary and Gary.
Yeah.
There were two Garys, yes.
Andrea stopped in to show her support. We missed you tonight, Andrea. Native Ultra Gaming stopped in, dropped a like. My cousin Kelsey. So, fun night. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Gina. Your comments keep us going. We love the interaction.
Absolutely.
All the people who dropped reactions. I dropped a couple. Sam, Andrea. Oh, you guys are on late. Gary, we're ending the show now. Go back to work.
Yeah, we just get carried away, Gary. You know how it is when we get going, we just can't seem to stop.
Yep. Well, hopefully the next time I talk to Ron, probably before that, but hopefully Monday night when we do Sports Gladiators, we will be celebrating a Super Bowl victory. That's my ultimate goal. I am a bit scared about Sunday. I won't lie.
Anybody who's still in, remember to take your short videos of your Super Bowl parties, so and then send them in Messenger to the show so that we can use them on Monday.
Yes, I will try my best to get those ready. I think I only work till 4:30 or 5:30 on Monday, so if people send them in, I will have time to go back and do a video collage of them.
Okay,
so
sounds good.
We'll have that, and then the next week, entertainment night, Tuesday night. Video Game Mania on Wednesday. I don't know if I have a guest or not yet for next week. And then next Friday we'll be back here for Friday Night Movie Night. But until then,
sounds like a plan.
Yep. Go Birds is right. Thank you everybody for tuning in and have a good night.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.